Hello everybody, and versus our Luke Racing. Oops, it's fine. Okay. Gateway opening. 3 zealots. Since I started doing this build, any other crazy PvZ build I'm doing, or just doesn't work for me anymore. Well, until I get in probably in higher leagues, then it'll probably start working. It's just
you must construct additional pylons. You have not enough minerals.
at least in gold and below, it's just really hard to pull off these really technical builds. I'm assuming that's the spawning pool drone. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's the spawning pool drone, okay. Alright, then which one's the hatch drone? Go pylon ready for that. And then 3 zealots. 1, 2. Wait for it. And 3. Actually, I think he's doing it early. Gotta count the drones and see if he's using any larvae. If there's not at least two per mineral on, he's gonna do an early aggression. Or not early aggression, but you know, he's gonna try to cheese you. So just gotta be cautious of that. He's not poking away at the... Oh, fine, I'm gonna do that. Fine. Do that. Off I go. Cannon there. There's a drone there. Okay, that's...
Base is under attack. You have not enough. You require more.
Oh, I did.
Gas. Enough minerals. You have not enough minerals.
Oh, he took a secondary hatch.
We stand as one.
That's a mistake. Not only did he lose a queen, stack some drones as well. So I'm gonna hit the other base. Get that going. Then I'm gonna get a mothership core out. stock header. Go.
You require more Vespine gas.
So I need more gateways down. Just pop behind the mineral line. Oh, now there's no drones here. Oh, there's drones.
Justice has come.
By your will, Ula Sadari.
Here in the shadows. You require my skills.
Direct us.
Research complete.
I am here in the shadows. I am here in the shadows.
Just gonna try to shut him down.
We are one with the shadows. State thy bidding. Very well. Doom Adunala. The void hungers. Shall be
I can take out the overlords.
you unseen.
We stand as one. Highlight for hire. Upgrade complete.
Here I can, man, just because.
Command me.
Cannon!
Ula Sadari.
And then just snipe this base. The whole point is just to take this base out. And then run it back. It's a lot of lanes. So I took out that base. Get that out.
I return to serve. You must construct additional pylons.
Pretty sure this is more aggression than he's expected, so. Another overlord pop.
Kinala.
Well, actually, I need to guide them so that way they don't. You go that way. Expecting this counterattack and I'm not seeing it. There it is. I'm expecting that's counter. Can you move forward? Oh, couldn't. Oh boy. That worked a lot better than what I thought it was. So I just bombarded him with attack after attack after attack. Alright, let's watch this and then see what happened. Alright, so the main goal of this entire my build is to be almost reactive to my opponent, which is kind of hard for Protoss in general, is to be very reactive to your opponent because tech switching is much more difficult for at least for Protoss, you know. With Terran, you can always just switch the tech lab and all that stuff, so it's not a big deal. It's not too hard for them, but at least in Zerg it's easier. They just have to react to to the situation as needed. So this is to get them. This is to give you a little time to get a reaction made, and most likely he dropped his pool at 15, which is kind of strange. Oh no, actually, yeah, about 15. And he's not taking a base or anything like that. Main thing is, if you're actually scouting this, most of the time this will always be made for like protection. That's just how it works. It's like, okay. So here comes the hatch, block the hatch. Pool is done. I'm surprised he's not making any Zerglings. At least protect one thing. Drop that. Wish I dropped a pylon here, because then that would have told me that he was going to put a hatch there. I didn't. So I'm waiting. Okay, so as soon as I get this wall slightly completed with one cannon for protection. I'm not a big fan of putting my cyber core here, but I have to. But I need another building there, and it's too late to set it here because of the overlord going over there. So tells them specifically what's going on. So he's dancing around with his wings too much. Should just let them do the damage they were supposed to do. He brought up drones, which I think is a mistake, because income wise, and prior to that he had, now he would have 18 drones, so he lost a chunk of drones, and now instead of producing drones he's got to produce zerglings. And then here comes a batch of drones, so that's 15, 18. He's got another hatchery going. And I figure, okay, he's sacked a bunch of drones, so he's either not going to make the response he needs to, which is to build more zerglings. So notice these attacks come around 5, come around 7. And this one's just to get another reaction. I just want to pick off drones. The more drones I pick off, the easier it is. Again, he's got to react to everything I'm doing. So his reaction will have to be he's got to get defensive units, like zerglings or something, or roaches. Because he's not taking any of his gas. He can't afford it, not with the minerals that he needs. Because every time I go in, I'm making him produce more than what he needs to. So for me to be on 2 base and be at 32 and him to be on 3 base to be on 35, it means that he's not really well prepared for this kind of assault. And if you could pull this off right, you know, and it's really map dependent sometimes, because that's the way it feels a lot of the times. So see how I dropped this roach one right there, which is kind of weird, because it's like, oh, it gives me an idea. It's like, oh, he dropped it because he had to, because he's not producing the gas that he needs to produce for it. He lost another queen. He now has to produce zerglings. He's now got speedlings. He's about to lose another base. And then we come over here again. One mothership core. And he's not microing the lings. He just moved them over and hopes that and that they would be doing damage, not realizing, oh, I have a cannon, 2 cannons, a nice, not the greatest wall off, but at least it can get my units through. And then I have to be taking gas. Oh, I actually had 4 on gas this entire time. Ooh, that's not good for me. It sacks another overlord for real no reason. So I'm supply blocking myself, trying not to. Got my sentries, trying to get my mothership in the back. So now you had to, so it's taking this base over here. So that explains that part, you know, why he's not trying to take some. Well, he's really high on minerals. What's his oh, his larva count's really bad. Well, he's wasting it because he's been wasting larva on units and zerglings and stuff like that, because every time I do an attack, it's just one thing after another. So I'm mulling that off, or at least force fielding the ramp. And then, I mean, he's got vision with these overlords, which is good. And here comes those, bam. Oh, no, sentry, no. Oh, I died. Well, keep the units I need to keep where they need to be. And here comes the counterattack. As expected. I was expecting this a lot earlier. The lings will die instantly. That's just not a chance. And I think he slightly paused a little bit. Immortal with 32 hit points left. Got a shield, got a shield. Oh, death. And the Brulins are keeping me off the ramp. Oh. So again, he's lost so much. Then I supply walk myself. He's gotta go another spawning pool. His Roach Warren is nowhere to be found. So let's see. If we go back real quick from each attack. So the first attack, if you chrono boost out your zealots right, by 4 minutes you should have 3 zealots. By those few minutes alone, you should be moving out for that attack. And that attack should hit at 5 minutes. Not exactly 5 minutes, but should hit. So now, depending on the damage you do, you can either attack straight to either High Templars for Archon, so you get Zealot Archon, or Robotics. Since a good chunk of the time you're always going to be against Roach Hydra, Robotics would probably be a safer bet. If anything else, you can always just kind of use it for an observer. And so the next attack comes in at about 8 minutes. This is because I knew he's... Reason for this second attack is because he used all his drones for here to kill the rest of my zealots. Because he had no choice. He had no units. On top of that, each time he's probably had... So at the 4-minute mark, he has roughly 2 larvae, 16 so out of the larva that he popped, he made 9 zerglings. Well, he made 10 zerglings, so that's 5 larvae that he lost, 5 drones that he could have had, so that would have been 15. So now he's way behind as we continue ready for the next attack. So here comes the next attack, another 3 units. Most of the time when I do this, I don't normally up the unit count, but I figure if 3 is going to be able to do this, he doesn't have speed. He hasn't researched speed yet. He doesn't have the money to research it. So I'm keeping his money low and his larva low, which is always a benefit. And then the next attack wave should come in at around 10.5. Snipe that, snipe that. In a real fight, Zergling should beat Stalkers any day. I was just trying to get the Roach Warren down. And then here comes my second attack at 2 minutes. That's after my warp gates have finished. So I got 3 warp gates. He's got an attack coming in. These lings are not going to do any damage. I only took like 1 cannon. And that's probably about it. I've got overcharge. I've got... And this cannon's going to be... with 8 kills. 3 kills. 4 kills. 1 kill. So basically this takes away from the 11-minute timing attack that Zergs are 10 to 11 that Zergs are most used to seeing, so they can kind of build up a good infrastructure, which is why I started doing that, because I'm like, I mean, it works, and it's all inish really easy, because if you lose your army, you lose your army, and that's really just like, oh, I mean, you could use the Mothership Core for recall, but you know, so you can do that, but basically what it boils down to is that he hasn't had the larva to keep producing the units that he needs to. So there's just no way he would be able to survive after this onslaught. And then you look at the upgrades. You know, I'm 1-1. He's got. Huh. But he didn't research burrow. That only works if you have burrow. Huh. Weird. Which I think burrow would have been a better choice. At least with micro roaches like that. You can usually just fend off. If you burrow micro in your units. But that's pretty much about it. I mean, I took this guy off gas to build that. Well, actually, there was 4 in this gas guys. There's so 4 in this one. I probably never noticed it. So, if you really want to do this, just make sure it goes pylon gateway. Just do it like an FFE, just except it's going to be a gateway first. Once the gateway finishes, you know, get an extra pylon, get your pylon down for the next thing, and just hit Z 3 times chrono. Make sure you don't get supply blocked. If you really, like I do, I just throw it on the forge. I just do it. It's a reaction thing. I always throw it behind the mineral line because if something happens, cannon right in the middle. So, anyways, hope you enjoy and have a good day.